charges on unit trusts now, and let's take a look at some of these, because this is where we start getting into RDR, annual management charges as well, and the ongoing charges figure as well, which confuses quite a few people. So let's just pop over here for this one. So I want to take a look at unit trust charges now. And I am looking at unit trusts. Obviously the OICs are similar, but they are different. They have their own uniques, and we'll cover those later this morning or next time we meet. 4 types of charges for you. The first one is the initial charge, which we've spoken about. The initial charge, there you go. The initial charge is typically 3 to 5%, but it does vary enormously. Especially some of the DIY platforms now as well, when they're unit trusts or OICs. It used to be the old commission was baked in, so it used to come down to the commission side of things, so you don't get these massive charges anymore. And you might get exit charges as well if it's a particularly specialist unit trust or OIC as well. So that's your initial charge, which is quite a hefty charge in some situations. But again, since RDR, they have to have these prices clean and unbundled now. There's no commission baked into any of these types of prices as well. So that's the first one there for you. The second charge, as we've already talked about, is the bid offer spread. There you go. Offer spread, a very popular question in the exam still. DipFA does throw it at you. Difference between the two, you've got the bid price and you've got the offer price. So let's just put those in there for you, the bid price and the offer price. You buy your units at the higher price, of course, and then you sell them back to the fund manager at the lower price. Bid to get rid is my phrase. Let's put it in there. And the difference there is the bid offer spread. There you go. Typically 5%, but these are old figures, aren't they, that they're still in the textbook for us to remember. Now the third one, put it down here for you, is the AMC, the annual management charge. Annual management charge. There you go. Again, nothing to do with commissions or ongoing advice fee. We're not talking about advice here, we're just talking about the running the fund. And this is the cost, of course, for the fund managers. The fund managers need paying for, and this is the cost. And it varies enormously according to the type of investment. Now, you know me, I put my money in a Vanguard DIY platform because I just do, and the annual management charge is just paltry. It's 0.15 or something, very low. It's a passive fund. It's not an active fund. It tracks a number of indices. It suits me down to the ground for my pension. Of course, it's low cost because the computer does all the work. But if you've got an active fund where they're actively managing, of course, it's much more expensive. And it does depend where you are. You might, for example, have overseas. There you go, let's put that in there for you. Equities. And that might charge sort of 1.5% maybe. Then you might have UK equities, which might charge, say, 1% possibly. And you might have fixed or gilt, let's just put that down there for you. So fixed interest one might be 0.25%, even on an active basis. Depends on the complexity of it as well. So that's typically, the book talks about 0.5%, 0.25 to 1.5%, but that's the book, The book's not always up to date, is it, in the real world? Now the final point for you, of course, is RDR, Retail Distribution Review. In the end of 2012 now, which is 14 years ago. What that created, of course, is that these things can no longer provide commission. We have to take our fees from the client direct, and there's no commission baked in here anymore, which used to be the big where the commission came from, of course. There's no commission baked in anymore, and we take our advice fees, if you like, from the platform or directly from the client, depending on your business model. I think you guys tend to take it from the platform. An initial charge, of course, initial fee, and then the ongoing advice fee, which is your advice given to the client, fact finding, looking at goals, objectives, etc., and then looking at the platform and the multi-asset fund that you're going to be investing in. So that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Unit trust charges. Ongoing charges figure, which is in the KID. So we need to know what this is. Now, as you can appreciate, the OCF, the ongoing charges figure, is the true annual cost of running the UCITS fund. So we're talking here about the the annual management charge, effectively. It replaced the old TER, total expense ratio. So this is up to date on the regulatory side for you as well. We have to disclose this in our KID or KIDs. This is the disclosure, of course, that you have to get involved in. Now the KID, the two I's there, is for UCITS, the key investor information document. But now we've got PRIPs, packaged retail insurance and investment products. That's the one that we work with as UK advisors. So we give KIDs, don't we? Which is the key information document. But that's for PRIPs, packaged retail insurance and investment products. That's what we get involved in as well. Now PRIPs covers OICs, unit trusts, investment trusts, bonds, etc. So that's our bag. Obviously, we put in funds of funds and platforms and multi-asset funds, etc. We might be into ETFs or whatever. The majority of the work we probably do is unit trusts, investment bonds. We've talked about a lot as well. So that's where the PRIPs comes in, the KID. The final point to make is it's packaged and then presented as 1% figure of the fund value. So this is the ongoing charges figure that you have in your KID. So what does it include? I've got ChatGPT or Copilot to give me a little picture. I thought it was quite a nice little pic here. It's spelt quite well as well, which is very unusual for it as well. Let's pop down here so you can see that. As you can see, the ongoing charges figure includes all aspects there. You've got the annual management charge there, but you've got auditor fees, legal fees, regulator fees, custody fees, tax advisor fees, registrar fees, and other operating costs. So it's all in there when it comes to it. That's quite a good description there.